It is senior day here at Shaw Field, as before this contest, Georgetown honored 8 seniors. But now all eyes turn towards the Marquette Golden Eagles with a record of 4-8-3, who will square off against Georgetown with a record of 9-2-4. Hello, everyone. I'm Monica Moore alongside Christian Taylor. And Christian, when you look at the numbers and you think about these two teams, one thing it feels like we know for sure, we might see a lot of set pieces and corner kicks today.
We're talking about teams number 1 and 2 in the Big East when it comes to corner kicks. And these two teams do a really nice job of getting it into that final third, but forcing the defense to push it out. So really good for both of these two teams. We'll see how it all plays today.
Let's go ahead and meet our players to watch, starting with the visitors, the Golden Eagles. Tess O'Connell, what a transfer she has been coming into this program. They've been very glad to have her.
Yeah, came over from Rhode Island, and this season, she only had 1 goal coming into this season, but she leads the team with 5. She really creates a lot of good things, can both play a holding position and can push up quite a bit.
And on senior day for the Hoyas, feels pretty fitting to pick Eliza Turner.
Yeah, Eliza Turner has been absolutely everything for this team this season. Firstly, the goals have been striking, right? But believe it or not, just picking up her first assist of the season last game against Providence, and it was a really big one too. So she'll be looking for a big senior day.
So these two teams will square off. Welcome back to Shaw Field. It is a beautiful, crisp fall day. There is a large crowd on hand for this one. Let's go ahead and meet our starting 11s for both of these two teams, starting with the visitors. Marquette starts number 6, Mia Hurdle, number 7, Kiara Clark, number 8, Josie Beta, number 13, Adriana Alberts, number 14, Haley Christensen, number 21, Kylie McMinn, number 23, Emily Fix, number 24, Tess O'Connell, number 25, Caroline Klein, number 28, Maggie Starker, and the starting goalkeeper, number 1, Elise Crone. The first-year head coach for Marquette is Chris Allen. And for Georgetown, they start number 6, Natalie Means, number 8, Eliza Turner, number 9, Maya Lardner, number 10, Claire Manning, number 11, Lizzie Heller, number 17, Lawson Rennie, number 18, Erica Harwood, number 24, Ellen Carter, number 27, Henley Tippins, number 28, Shay Montgomery, and back in goal, number 1, Kara Martin. The Hoyas under the direction of head coach Dave Nolan. And Christian, we've already talked about it. Senior day here on the Hilltop. Georgetown not just honoring 8 players, 8 extremely special players to this program, all of whom have contributed mightily, whether they've been here for one season or for the entirety of their collegiate careers. It is an emotional day, but both teams feeling like they have a lot of business to take care of right now.
Very much so. Certainly for Georgetown, you're trying to keep pace with Xavier up at the top. You got to keep picking up your wins. And for Marquette, this has been a season where it's been a little difficult, certainly. This last homestand for theirs was not one that they wanted, and losing back-to-back 3-0 games is tough. But it was really interesting watching pregame. Every one of these Marquette players is pumped up and ready to go, and they're excited to be here, and they want to give Georgetown a run for their money.
Hoyas are fouled, so it will be a free kick coming up for the Hoyas. But Maggie Starker has already asserted herself in this contest for Marquette. And Chris Allen was telling us she is one to keep your eyes on. She is back in the lineup off of a minutes restriction that she had. And they are very excited to have a player of her caliber and with her level of experience available today.
And Coach was mentioning just maybe how different this team maybe could look if she had been ready to go this entire year. So we'll see what the addition of her up there is potentially a 10 role can do for this team.
So, Christian, something very interesting here just for Georgetown. Lawson Rennie actually took the free kick. We're used to seeing her on the end of those as they look for her as a favored target. Kara Martin, dangerous moment, fantastic pressure by the Golden Eagles, and they're going to switch sides of the field. Emily Fix was looking over to Clark. Good job settling the ball in traffic, but Rennie is there for the Hoyas.
That's a good start. If you're Marquette, you're already being able to push it to the final third, and Martin just got very lucky there, was able to still get it out of her feet, though it was a little nerve-wracking there. But yeah, you mentioned Lawson Rennie taking the kick. We usually see her stand in the middle because of her height, standing at 5'10", but the coach has been able to see some good services out of her as of late, and you might as well see what else you can do in that realm.
Well, and certainly teams are starting to get ready for her in terms of the set pieces. They understand what she brings. Natalie Means brings a lot of speed, pushing into the box for the Hoyas. A big play by Elise Crone just to make sure that Natalie Means could not have any heroics there for the Hoyas, but you really see the speed over on that right side for Georgetown. It has been a storyline all year long. Credit to defenses who have tried to key in on Natalie Means because they recognize what an extraordinary talent she is over on that far side, and that is a player that Marquette's going to have to contend with today.
If you're able to somehow, which it's very hard and not many teams have been able to do it, but if you can contain the outsides, certainly with Means on that right side, you at least have a little bit of a chance. But the thing is, Means has just been so good, and she's as fast as anybody else that Coach Nolan has seen. And even when you switch some focus to her, she's still making you pay.
And of course, you have to be ready for Ellen Carter to push forward. She's a bit of a converted defender as she started in a right midfield spot this year, but was pressed into service as a right back defender. Lizzie Heller looking to make something happen. Good pressure by Emily Fix. Manning on the near side, settles the ball, was looking for Maya Lardner. Elise Crone quickly off her line. Kiara Clark also back defensively for the Golden Eagles.
That will also need to be a theme today, is making sure that Crone is out of her line real quick. You know, she didn't start the last few games here, but now fresh into the action, has a good opportunity against these Hoyas.
43 saves on the year for Crone. And good pressure here. Josie Bita, one of the most dangerous players on the field for the Golden Eagles, took 3 shots against Villanova. They're going to be looking to get Josie Bita involved, an exceptional athlete who does a good job getting behind the defense. And a throw coming up for Emily Fix.
And does what you need to do out of a number 9. You know, this team likes to play in a 4-2-3-1 and many times, and they like to have her up top. So why not have your most dangerous player pressuring the defense? And whilst the goals aren't all the way there, she does have a good, solid 2 goals this season. While they're not all the way there, she is extremely integral to how this team maneuvers on offense.
Another free kick coming up here for Lawson Rennie, who was honored before the contest. One of the graduate transfers for Georgetown. And this is Ellen Carter on the far side, looking to lead Henley Tippins with a burst of speed. I love that decision to cut it back, looking for Maya Lardner.
Usually Maya Lardner is there, and she was. The thing is, though, Marquette had enough bodies surrounding it to force Tippins off target.
Carter looking for Lardner.
And I really did think that service to Tippins was really good, too.
And that's really what Georgetown does. They send these long balls forward, breaking the lines. They realize they have the pace up top. This is Turner switching sides of the field over to Claire Manning, who loves to dribble into space in the center of the field. Turner with space and time, looking for Lardner, who did a great job corralling the ball. Heller will reset for the Hoyas. And good communication there. She was looking for an option out of Erica Harwood. And Christensen will take over. Great ball up ahead. Rennie is back defensively. Good pressure by Bita. Really a credit to Marquette here in these opening minutes. They have been pressuring Georgetown. They know the counters are going to be very important today, and they have been working to take advantage of opportunities.
Oh, and when you have a player like Bita up top, a counterattack is possible at any moment, and a good one.
Means looking to Lardner, great ball, but we're going to get the flag up over on the far side. But this is what Georgetown does. They try to break you down defensively with these great passes that have the right amount of weight on them.
It's actually pretty incredible how they're able to find some of these passes as well. Time and time again, I mean, we've been here for every home game this season, and every game you're seeing something that you don't see from the naked eye. They're able to locate a lot of different things, and already today have been able to do a little bit of that, but Marquette have stood strong here in the early stages.
Carter, once again, looking to send the ball forward. Mia Hurdle is back. And a great job by Henley Tippins just to control in the middle of the field. Turner with options. Looks to Manning. Big touch by Manning. And once again, Georgetown trying to get that extra pass forward. That time, the intended recipient was Shea Montgomery. And we see Georgetown do this a lot. They just continue to try to break you down. They come at you in waves. It always looks just a little different every time until they can find that opening, and unlucky there for Claire Manning.
Georgetown early have been trying to target this left side. Claire Manning's had some chances, and I like her ability to cut in. It's a really big part of her game, so that's where they've been going with this. But you're seeing Emily Fix is now playing on the right side in this game, and she's trying to add in a little bit of pace over there just to thwart any chance.
And Vita again. We're going to get a whistle and a free kick coming up, as Heller whistled for the foul against Josie Bita, and this is going to be one of the best opportunities here that Marquette has had. We talked about the set pieces, Christian, and that's one thing that Chris Allen said to us. Set pieces and counters are probably going to be some of our best chances on the afternoon.
And they have some height to them, right? Caroline Klein is 5'11", Tess O'Connell, who we highlighted before the game, 5'11", Josie Bita is 5'9", so this team's really good in the air. And when you get good service like Clark has in her left foot, it can really give you a chance.
And it will be Kiara Clark over the ball for Marquette. Two-person wall for the Hoyas. Clark sends it inside. They do find a connection, but it was in traffic and so hard to capitalize. Really great effort, though, for Marquette on the opportunity. I believe it was Alberts.
I thought Georgetown reacted well too on that ball, because that's such a tough position to defend. You have somebody who could either curl it in, so Martin had to be ready, but also can lay it up at any pace that she like, and the defense did well.
Fix once again quickly getting the ball in play. She's been very active over on this near side, and it will be another throw coming up for Emily Fix, who has a reputation in this Marquette lineup for being one of the hardest workers on the team, the heartbeat, in fact, as Chris Allen calls her. Montgomery looking to head the other way. Really nice effort there by Kylie McMinn to maintain possession.
Yeah, McMinn is somebody who has also had a pretty good season, but somebody who you need to keep your eyes out for as this game continues.
Christensen trying to get back behind the defense. It's easier said than done with Rennie and Carter defending on the right side. This is Clark. We just saw her ability to send the ball in. Rennie clears it away. Smart play.
Marquette up to the challenge so far, and you're seeing them take a few chances forward. You know, this isn't a team that is going to sit and park the entire game. This is a team that wants to go forward, and so you're going to be seeing a few moments like this as the game continues.
Means finding Lardner with a burst of speed over on the right side. Lardner trying to turn the corner, sends it inside. Really nice effort by Shea Montgomery to try to get on the end of that. And Montgomery will hold possession and find Claire Manning. Turner, who was under pressure, right decision, switching sides of the field, stretching out the defense. Means a quick cut, looking for Tippins, cleared away by the back line for the Golden Eagles.
Really nice hesitation there by Means. That slight moment allowed the path to clear up for her, and she nearly got herself inside of the box.
Once again, Clark with some nice work on the left side, finds McMinn. An interception by Heller. Georgetown just not giving up on the play. And now Turner trying to hold up.
This team does this a lot where you got a moment and it goes away, but then they just recycle it back in.
And Henley Tippins felt she was held in the box, but it's going to be free kick coming up here for Elise Crone. Getting the start today for Marquette, the sophomore goalkeeper.
Yeah, you know, this is a goalkeeping unit for Marquette where you have two players who can really do their thing, right? Chloe Olson, who's gotten a few starts this season, or half of the starts. Elise Crone's gotten the other. And, you know, Coach Allen sees two capable players of getting into that starting lineup. And Elise Crone, you know, she came in from TCU. Didn't play last season, but really good program there with the Horned Frogs. And so she has at least some of that Big 12 experience and bringing that here to Marquette.
Nice back heel there. Christensen trying to work around Carter. Christensen will send it inside, just not enough pace on it to get past Kara Martin.
And that's the first shot on target in this game. It belongs to Marquette. So they've taken a few looks, right? They've been able to weather a few Georgetown storms and have gotten a couple correct passes.
Claire Manning threading it through to Mai Lardner. Lardner able to keep possession, finds Heller. Really nice effort there by Lizzie Heller. She was under pressure, was still able to direct that ball forward. She has grown so much in terms of this season. Only a first year, has gotten a lot of minutes, and she has done a lot with them. Kiara Clark, however, really impressing, I think, on the far side. She has been very involved with everything that Marquette is doing.
Well, there's a reason why she started most of the games this season. It's because she has really good speed over there, but just has a knack for playing an outside, right? She has the stamina to both help out the attack forward and can drop really well defensively, and she makes smart plays. That was a really gutsy play to try and slide in on Natalie Means to take the ball away, and you see why Coach Allen has really highly touted her this season.
Rennie looking for Tippins, who gets the worst of it once again. This time there will be a whistle. Henley Tippins, just an absolute warrior for Georgetown, often is in the middle of it when there's contact. She is a target that defenses look for. She had that big spurt in the middle of the season where put together some instant offense, was our Big East Offensive Player of the Week. And this is a big play here made by Henley Tippins, and now a free kick coming up for Georgetown in striking distance.
You know, this is one of those spots, I mean, where you can do a lot, but I'd like to see a shot for goal here. And you see the two decoys. We'll take another look at this foul. I mean, it was straight into the back there, so pretty easy for the referee there on Alberts. But
you have to love how quickly Tippins got to the ball, and we've seen that several times today. Lofted up in the air by Montgomery, perhaps looking for Harwood, who was defended by Alberts. And it will be a corner kick coming up for Montgomery and the Hoyas. First corner kick of the afternoon for Georgetown. We told you we expected corner kicks would be a key factor today, set pieces in general, and the best opportunities today have come from those set pieces. We'll see what Shea Montgomery does here on the service. An arcing ball just over top of the net, and it will be another opportunity here for Montgomery. Really nice job here from Crone, who I believe gets a piece of this. We'll see.
Yeah, Lardner was the one who got the header off, too. It was angled right in at her. Last touch off of Marquette.
Very similar ball, that time headed away by the Golden Eagles. Fantastic defense. That was Tess O'Connell, who, as you talked about, Christian, listed at 5'11" on the roster. You can't miss her out on the field with all of that height. And frankly, that's what you have to do with that height, is be able to head those balls away.
And you need to be involved in both the offensive and defensive set pieces. Have to be in there.
And that call will go the way of the Golden Eagles. It will be a throw coming up for Marquette and Emily Fix.
Some physical play so far between the two teams. You can see just how much this means, even though these two sides are on different parts of the Big East table. Every Big East game is as important as the last one, and they both come out firing.
We've really marveled about that in conference play this year. As it's a physical conference. There's a lot on the line for all of these teams. Heller looking for an option, finds Lardner, who dribbles into the space. Lardner looks to curl it inside. Maya Lardner with her 9th goal of the season on senior day. What a strike by the miracle worker Maya Lardner, who is having herself a senior year.
Absolute beaut for Maya Lardner. I actually saw Coach Allen got quickly out of his seat right as she cut to her right foot. Wasn't closed down as quickly as they would have wanted, and it was right in her wheelhouse. Absolutely beautiful strike for somebody who has done it quite a bit. Take another look at this. Right through, just in front of the new change in McAleenan, and you cannot put together a better shot than that. No chance for Crone.
And Christian, it makes you think back to the first conversation that you and I had with Dave Nolan this season, where we were talking about Maya Lardner, and he said she's such an explosive athlete, great pace, she's strong, she's brave, she's unpredictable. And the one thing that has really stopped her in her career from getting the accolades was the numbers. And all of a sudden, you see 9 goals, 4 assists, and counting on the season for Maya Lardner. And what a year it has been. We have always loved the spark that she has provided, but this year it has just been an extra level.
Yeah, it's needed to be an extra level this season. That was the #1 challenge for Coach Nolan with Maya Lardner, because the basis was already there. There was already a lot of good movement. There was already a lot of good ideas. The unpredictability, which is something that she's able to thrive on, but it was the goal scoring that was just a little bit underneath. 3 goals was her total last season, a total of 6 coming into this year. But now she's got 9 in this year in general. And I still specifically remember Coach Nolan saying if she can get the goals going, there will be a legitimate shout for her as attacker of the year. And the goals have followed in suit. And every game, even if she's not scoring, there's a really good look for her.
She's certainly making her case. Shea Montgomery trying to get behind the defense. Another wonderful play by Montgomery, who will earn herself a corner kick, this time from the far side.
I mean, we're talking about a hard debate here. It's going to be Okafor or Lardner potentially as, attacker of the year. So we'll see how that ends up playing out.
So another corner kick here for Shea Montgomery, who has had very similar service on all the balls that she's sent in. Heller gets a piece of it. Rennie showing you some technical skill. And now Manning sending one inside. Tippins! How many times have we seen Tippins make the contact? It was the right play, just didn't have the angle, but I love the effort by Tippins and the creativity of Claire Manning.
Slightly got it wrong. That the header was almost there, but really well done by Claire Manning yet again, just sending in a good delivery. Tippins getting herself in the right area per usual.
And Christian, you think back to that game where Henley Tippins did not start. She came in off the bench and she lit it up offensively. We felt like she should have had 3 goals in that game. At least she had so many opportunities, and we felt like at one point that the crossbar was unkind to her, and all of a sudden the scoring came. Montgomery looking for Tippins right there. And again, Shea Montgomery will line up for a corner kick.
Yeah, Tippins has gotten a little unlucky at certain moments this year, but it's not anything to her. It's just an unlucky bounce, right? I mean, she's doing everything right, and better watch out, because once those start clicking, there is a lot more coming out of her.
Montgomery looking to thread it through the defenders. Big clearance there by the Golden Eagles. And I think for Marquette, really the tough thing here is they were playing exceptionally well, and you get a wonder strike by Maya Lardner that you just feel like was almost impossible to stop. But the way that they were playing defense, the way that they were creating opportunities offensively, I mean, the Golden Eagles have come to play today. And a nice play there by Erica Harwood, just shielding the offense, making sure that Kara Martin didn't have any trouble making that play. But I think that that's exactly what Marquette has to go to. Maya Lardner looking for her second in rapid succession. And credit Elise Crone for that aggressiveness. Christian, you mentioned that early on, that she was going to have to be aggressive off her line.
Have to, because there's going to be a lot of balls sent in behind the back line. And I actually do agree with this no call here from the referee, because you just got two players battling for the ball. There isn't anything bad in there. So good to see everybody get up there, but Crone did well.
We promised you a lot of corner kicks and a lot of set pieces. We have delivered so far in this game. Montgomery with another good service. Ball is still in play. Montgomery looks to send it inside to Tippins, and a clearance there by Alberts, who has been very busy on the afternoon so far, trying to lock down that near post. Manning, through three defenders, finally has the ball taken away.
Well, I see the Georgetown effect taking place, because to start this game, I mean, she's back up there now, but Josie Bita was always just playing up, right? But now with the Hoyas keeping it back and continuing to push, everybody's back. And you see a lot of teams who want to start off with some sort of formation but have to switch to a really defensive mindset just to play against these Hoyas. So, but we'll see how Marquette try to surge out of this here. Looks like they're back into their shape that they'd be looking for. And again, as you said, they started off pretty well, and I still think they're playing pretty decently here. Not many teams come in and actually try to play against Georgetown. A lot like to sit and just see what they can try and hold, but there's a legit shout to go for goal, and that's a lot of credit to Marquette. It's a lot of credit to Chris Allen.
No, I completely agree with that, and it certainly, you want to test yourself, you want to see what you can do against some of the best competition in the league, and that's what they're doing. Fix with a nice idea. Carol Martin comes off her line. Capri Laviero has come into the contest for Marquette. Just about 21 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in this first half. And, you know, Christian, if I'm being honest, I think in the opening minutes of the contest, Georgetown losing some possession that you would normally see them keep the ball in play. And I don't know if you rack that up to senior day or what have you, but pretty quickly they settle into their consistent form, which is constant pressure all the time. And once again, Maya Lardner finding herself free, beats the goalkeeper. Maya Lardner, second goal of the game. Christian, 10th goal of the season.
Yeah, she's charging up to the #1 scorer in this conference, but Lardner doing it yet again, taking advantage of Crone, getting off her line there. A really nice touch, and that's a hard angle to slot it in from, where she just maneuvered, and it's 2-0 Maya Lardner.
And you can see on the screen right now, Maya Lardner, we noticed it at the beginning of the game, is taped up in a variety of places. Look at this ball forward. Maya Lardner holding off the defender, beating the goalkeeper. Presence of mind to take that touch, Christian. A lot of players would have kicked it immediately, but that is such good patience, and that's the experience of Maya Lardner.
It really is, and she knows she has the foot skills to be able to maneuver something like that. And still, also some attackers, if you see an angle cut in like that, you might see them cut back in just to open it up a little bit, but Lardner knew she could slide it into that tiny window, and that's why it's 2-0 right now.
Kate Gibson, who has come on the field for the Golden Eagles, trying to work the ball forward. Clark will advance the ball to the offensive third, and Means, really smart play by Natalie Means to not give up the corner. Instead, it will be a goal kick coming up for Kara Martin. And certainly important to mention, Ellen Carter just credited with her second assist of the season. And when she was moved back to that right back defender role, the numbers certainly not as likely to come from what we had seen earlier in the way she was playing as a right wing. But Ellen Carter finds so many different ways to contribute no matter what she's doing. Means burst of speed, crosses it inside. Nice idea, just didn't have a player in the center of the field to receive it. Manning, second wave. And now Heller looking for Lardner, and Lardner's feeling it. She could very well have had a third.
Yeah.
You think about the big play made by Elise Crone to shut down Lardner before she scored her second goal of the afternoon. She is absolutely on fire right now, and we have watched her play for a number of years. We have seen this in the making, the process it's been for Maya Lardner, the hard work that she has put in. And Christian, you made the point before the game about how Dave Nolan and his coaching staff develop these players, and you see every player that was honored today has made a massive contribution on the field this year for Georgetown. And Maya Lardner's a great story because she came in very talented, but her progression has been off the charts.
You know, a lot of players will be given a couple chances as a freshman. Not many get to play right away. A few of these seniors did, right? But just seeing how Coach Nolan brings these players in and doesn't worry if they're not able to get into the lineup really early. They always seem to find a way as their careers continue. And for a lot of these players, it's constant development and constantly getting better. And every one of them has made some sort of contribution this year and previous years, and a few with other schools. So it's a lot of players who this program's going to miss, but Coach Nolan's got his next wave. And you know, I still actually remember we were talking about it last senior day last year, where there was just a lot of names of players who did so much, but it's in the same boat this year, and it was the same boat a couple of years ago, and it's just a constant cycle for Coach Nolan in Georgetown.
You think to yourself, how does Dave Nolan replace a Brianne Riley and a Julia Lease? And you see how solid this back line has been. They've barely given up goals this season. They have been exceptional in terms of the lockdown defense. Manning looking for Montgomery. And Christian, I have to say, I think this has been a really good day for Shea Montgomery, just in terms of how involved she's been, obviously with the corner kicks, and she has had some fantastic service off of those, but she's been a great target up top. She's really making things happen, and she's been one of the standouts to me for the Hoyas.
You know, she plays a position that's really tough to maneuver, right? And a lot of times she plays that number 10 role, which a lot of players want to play but can't execute. And with Shea Montgomery, the link-up play that she's exhibited really this year, and switching it up a little bit last year with Tatum Linane, it's been very purposeful. And when she finds that ball, magical things can happen. A lot of the offense, many times this season, has started because of what she's been able to maneuver there.
Esme Brayshaw has come into the contest for Maya Lardner. She will get a well-deserved rest. And one thing I will say, because Marquette has been under fire for what feels like the entirety of this game. They've gotten a few opportunities, but Georgetown has had the ball in their final third. And when you think about the number of corner kick opportunities that they've had, the way that Marquette has defended that, I think that's a big takeaway for them in terms of standing strong on a lot of these opportunities. The problem with Georgetown is they get so many opportunities, it's hard to shut down every single one of them. And today, Marquette has forced Georgetown to score in the run of play.
They have. I think if you can defend set pieces well, you've at least got a basis for success. And because set pieces happen all the time, you're going to see them in every game, numerous set pieces for every opponent that you play against. So if you have that basis, you're at least ready to start. But now it's a matter of how can you continue with it? How can you build off of that? And you know, when we talked with Coach Allen, you know, he didn't really think the defense was too awful this season. He's really liked his center back play. He's liked what some options Caroline Klein and Kiara Clark can give as they drop back. But, it's just a matter of getting it all plugged together on every moment, and that's where it's just not quite there yet. So, but you have the basis with the set pieces, and you can build from there.
Well, I have to tell you, Christian, it's hard not to like his back line. Those are two special players that Chris Allen has back there. You think about Mia Hurdle. She's a player who was projected she might only be good for 45 minutes a week. She might play 45 minutes in a game on Thursday, then be unavailable on Sunday. But when you look at the minutes that she's logged and how important she's been to this team, Brayshaw will send one inside. Elise Crone comes out to make the play. Has really given her heart, her soul, her body for this team. And then you take a player like Adriana Alberts, a player who earlier in her career had played, I think, 30 minutes total, and is pressed into service and stands strong for Marquette. She's the right center back. She's hard for an offense to break down. Heller looking to lead means, and as if on cue, that is Mia Hurdle, who does not give up the corner, makes the smart defensive play. The Iron Woman for Marquette.
Yeah, those two have combined really well this season. They both got something wrapped up, too. I mean, that is how hard they work, but it's a testament to them for how much they love this game, how much they love this program, and how much they just want to play. And, to go off of what you were saying about Mia Hurdle, to only be projected to be playing about 45 minutes a weekend is crazy. And this season, 8 games, she's played all 90 minutes in. I mean, if you were to tell somebody that before the season, you would be asking for more clarification on it. But it's a testament to her as well. And Coach Allen's just been over the moon with the amount of time she puts in and just how much she sacrifices herself for the betterment of the team.
This is Hurdle again, who is going against Means, and credit Mia Hurdle because she disrupts that play. That's a play, if Mia Hurdle is not there, Natalie Means puts in the upper 90 for Georgetown.
Yeah, it's her presence that does quite a bit. And it is really incredible just seeing her play.
A couple of substitutes have come into the contest for Marquette. You do want to keep your eyes on Erin O'Keefe has come in, the left-footed speedster. Also Alexa Moedas, who is one of the fifth-year seniors for the Golden Eagles. And both teams now have gone to their bench. This is Mary Cochran pressuring for the Hoyas. He's given Georgetown some really good minutes on the season so far, and when Shea Montgomery is not in the game, it is her role to provide excellent service on the corners. Cyan Doyle, one of the seniors, scored a big goal recently for the Hoyas, and she's that presence up top, fantastic target, really makes the defense work and think about everything they're doing in the box when Cyan Doyle is pressuring them.
Yeah, she needed that goal against St. John's as well for the amount of hard work she's put in. She needed to be rewarded, and it was a good one there against St. John's, but you're so right. Just the pressure she gives and the presence she has is very under the radar, difficult to defend. There's a reason why Coach Nolan continues to bring her out, is because she tires the defenses.
Carter did not get the connection she was looking for there. And now Marquette looking to turn. Karina Murphy pressuring up top for the Golden Eagles.
And you see they've really gone into their bench here. And Coach Allen actually has the luxury of that, and they still actually have a few injuries as well, but being able to bring some players in who can give you another spark.
I mentioned earlier about Shea Montgomery and how impressed I am with her as Natalie Means. Beautiful pass backwards. Cyan Doyle shields the ball for an Eliza Turner shot. Second chance opportunity by Esme Brayshaw, but I love what Cyan Doyle did right there. She just shields the defender.
That's just absolutely incredible what she did there.
Brayshaw looks to curl it in. Diving save by Elise Crone. But you see that there is no drop-off for Georgetown when they bring in players off the bench. What an opportunity there. Brayshaw with a fantastic strike.
I actually thought for a moment that was going to be her third goal of the season, and she's already scored from that angle before. But, wow, what a sequence there with Cyan Doyle. That dummy was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But they kept it in there, and Brayshaw gets another look herself. This is second line for Georgetown, if you will. And these are some of the best chances of the game.
This is Turner. We highlighted her before the contest. I loved what Dave Nolan had to say about her after the Providence game, by the way, because she assisted that goal, Christian, as you mentioned, to Maya Lardner. But what he said is that she got smashed in the process of getting that ball forward. And what makes her special is she is so brave. And I thought that summed up Eliza Turner and what we've just seen out of her during the entirety of her Georgetown career. She's always calling for the ball. She's what a 6 should be. She's the pivot. She switches sides of the field. She distributes. She can score. She plays defense. Look at Eliza Turner in the final third.
Yeah, and as a 6, you don't often get into the attack, but for Turner, you can. And once again, does it beautifully there. She has played nearly every minute this season and has been knocked down quite a few times, but she gets right back into it. She is as tough as anybody else, and in this conference, to what Coach Nolan said, you do have to be brave. And she does that every single game, never lets up once, no matter what the score is. Eliza Turner's the same minute 1 as well as a game that's 6-0. Same player.
And she's just so reliable. It's rare you see her make a mistake. Manning, once again, cutting it inside, as we have seen her do so much. Turner up ahead to Means, just got under it. And Natalie Means wanted that one so badly because she so rarely has daylight on the field.
Yeah, she wants a few more for sure, but the presence alone has just been truly spectacular. Another really good avenue for her.
Caroline Spangler coming in. We've seen her quite a bit as of late. Another one of the first years for Georgetown, along with Maya Weiss. Eliza Turner will come out. We'll get a round of applause along with Natalie Means. And Kai Hansen, who has come onto the field for Georgetown, will be stepping into a bit more of that Eliza Turner-esque role now, with Turner on the bench.
I also like seeing a Caroline Spengler here in this role. She's played in a couple of the last few games here, played against Providence, played against St. John's. Just adds another quality spot up top.
Unlucky there for Georgetown, as an errant touch on the ball will be a throw here for the Golden Eagles. Kate Gibson providing a good target. And now Rennie is back just to let that sail out of bounds, and a goal kick coming up here for Kara Martin.
See Marquette with a couple changes in their attack. I like what Kate Gibson brings to the table. Julie O'Neill's another good one who can really add a nice dynamic. And it's just this next line as well. I've had some starts this year too. Karina Murphy, another one of those. Players who have gotten starts, players who can make a difference, and players who can really run at you.
Marquette gonna make something happen here before the conclusion of our first half. Mary Cochran will win possession back. This is just good spacing and shape by the Hoyas. Brayshaw now over on the right side, sends one forward looking for Cochran. It feels like Mary Cochran has been everywhere over the past few minutes.
I'm excited to see where her role is going to elevate next season. As a junior, already this year has been some really strong minutes for her.
Spangler. And a nice idea looking For Claire Manning, it will be a goal kick coming up for Elise Crone, but you see the thought process here for the Hoyas. Does not matter who is in the lineup, who is in what spot on the field. It's the exact same style of play and level of quality.
It's the system. If the system works, you can fit in all the different pieces that you need to. That is all Coach Nolan, and that is how he trains these players. That's the squad you want. If you're sending in somebody who arguably is third, fourth string, you don't lose anything.
Yeah, this has been a great game for Ellen Carter as well. Has an assist, has been very involved. She is really showing you how to play that wingback position. She's all the way at the end line trying to cross that forward. This is the right defensive back here for Georgetown, and she's been everywhere on the right side of the field, both defensively and offensively. And I think this progression for Ellen Carter, and I know it feels premature to start thinking about next year, but to your point about looking at a Mary Cochran, I think Ellen Carter is one of these players that will really be massive.
If Coach Nolan stays in this formation and same system, Ellen Carter as that right defender is going to be a really big spot here. So we'll see how it all continues.
Mary Cochran will line up here for a Georgetown corner kick with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in a first half of play where the Hoyas have scored 2 goals, high arcing ball, and one of the Hoyas was down. It was Lawson Rennie who, before the play even got started, was tripped up in the box. And it will be a throw coming up here for the Hoyas and Esme Brayshaw.
Now, if you can hold tight if you're Marquette here for this final 3:45, 2-0 isn't the worst thing in the world. That's still something that you can maneuver with, and you still maybe have a chance to get something in. So the conversation for Coach Allen, I know, probably a little frustrated that they allowed a couple, but I do think for certain points in this game, he has to be pleased with how the defense has come to help, how they've disrupted a few things. They just need now, all of a sudden, a few more looks offensively.
And they had that at the start of the contest. I really like what Josepita was able to do in the first half, and Marquette's going to need more of that in the second half from Ida and others. And again, you really think about it, it was the wonder strike from Maya Lardner. I don't think there are a lot of defenses that were going to stop that shot by Maya Lardner. And anytime that first goal was scored in a contest, it just changes the complexion of a game, frankly. And this is Carter again. Oh my goodness. Today has been a whole lot of Ellen Carter.
This has, I mean, really to what you were saying, both goals have been moments of brilliance. And with the Lardner curler, but she also had to touch that ball down and squeeze it into a tight angle. But the ball that Ellen Carter sent into her, one that had to be exactly where it was. If it was too heavier, Crone's getting to it. If it was any lighter, defenders getting to it. So it was perfect.
Hoyas again. Spangler, a stop by Elise Crone. Doyle sends it back to Brayshaw, who goes for placement. Second chance for Brayshaw, deflected by the defense. The Hoyas looking for one more before the end of the half, and Alexa Melitas had other ideas with some good defensive presence for the Golden Eagles.
I almost thought, so Doyle certainly almost scored, but I almost thought she could have taken another crack at it, but she turned it around and wanted to get a potentially better angled shot.
Spangler settles it, looking for Cochran. Brayshaw tries to turn. Weiss with the attempt. And the Hoyas just continuing to get opportunity after opportunity. They are peppering Elise Crone with opportunities in the box.
Yeah, talk about shots in this game, 14 of them for Georgetown. That's just a really, I beg your pardon, 10 for Georgetown. A really, really good setup here in this game.
And frankly, it's what Dave Nolan has wanted to see out of this team. He wants to see them create and generate a lot of chances, because it takes a lot of chances to get that one in the back of the net with 1 minute remaining. The tireless Ellen Carter continuing to pressure Marquette, looking to get some build through Nakalinen. for one more chance. Cochran looking for Cyan Doyle. And now Weiss over to Manning. Crosses it through Doyle. Gets a piece of it. Hansen in a battle with Karina Murphy. And a good clearance right there by Miletus.
Just a really good first half performance by the Hoyas. Marquette wanted to play, and they have it points today, but Hoyas continuing possession and continuing to tire their opposition.
1-0.
It was a big first half for senior Maya Lardner on senior day. 2 goals for the Hoyas. That has contributed to the Georgetown lead over Marquette. We will take a quick break. We will be right back with halftime highlights and stats here from Shaw Field.
Georgetown University student athletes, helping our Hoyas maximize their NIL opportunities, whether on the hilltop by visiting Hoyas Rising.
Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment. How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we treat Leo's ankle? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we get Leo the exact care he needs at our urgent care? Care that quickly gets him in for an on-site x-ray, that shows he needs an orthopedic specialist, that joins him for a video consult. That means he doesn't have to miss his very important afternoon appointment.
I can't remember.
How we help Leo get back to his life is about so much more than how we treat his ankle. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people.
It is halftime here at Shaw Field. It is senior day here at Shaw Field as the Georgetown Hoyas lead the Marquette Golden Eagles 2-0. And boy, Christian, did the seniors come to shine today for the Hoyas. We'll show you the first half highlights, but it's going to be a lot of Maya Lardner because she was tremendous in the opening half. Marquette, credit to the Golden Eagles. I thought they got off to a great start. We're really pressuring the Hoyas. This is Brayshaw. Look at the curl one inside. Brayshaw had 4 shots in the first half.
Yeah, she did. She kept peppering the goal. It was really, really impressive. But you're so right. I think what was really impressive, too, is once the changes came on, nothing really changed, did it? Still a lot of good looks for this Hoyas team, and you're seeing here good look after good look after good look. Very much could be more than 2-0 here today.
It was a physical contest. Henley Tippins had a chance. That was a beautiful service from Claire Manning. And take a look here. Maya Lardner thought she was going to get the back of the net on that one. Did not quite convert, but this was the wonder strike by a wonderful player, Maya Lardner.
It was really good, and certainly one of the best that she has scored this season. The ability to cut inside, and then with the window of space she had, the spin on it and the precision, it was really impressive. This angle, I think, is the best way to look at it because there wasn't much to look at, and she picked the one spot where Crone was not. Wonderful finish.
That is what Maya Lardner does. You already saw another chance that she had. This is the wonder strike once again. But lest you think that Maya Lardner was done in the first half, she was not. She provided a quality target for Georgetown every moment that she was out on the field. This is Ellen Carter on the delivery. Maya Lardner, presence of mind, the extra touch, and the finish.
You know, looking at this replay again, there was the bounce of the ball right as Ellen Carter delivered it, and that bounce also helped out Maya Lardner steer it past the defense. Take another look, happens right here. That just falls right to her, and then that first touch is everything you could have wanted. And no angle on that, by the way. Had to find a tiny little bit of daylight, and she did.
This was a day in the making for Maya Lardner. You take a look at the numbers. Georgetown dominating the stat sheet. 14 shots, 6 on goal, 2 of which found the back of the net. The 8 corner kicks I thought were huge. Credit Marquette. They did not give up a goal on those set pieces.
No, they did well on that, didn't they? I think they clogged the box enough to make sure the Hoyas didn't score. I'm actually a little surprised that Marquette haven't been able to get just one yet in this game, but I'm expecting a little bit more in the second half.
We'll take a quick break. We will be right back.
Instead of just asking, how can we make Sarah's wrist better? At MedStar Health, we ask, how can we better the whole experience? That connects her with a specialist's office, that schedules the appointment, that gets her in for surgery, that makes only a tiny incision. That means she's home that day with her post-op instructions at her fingertips. Her much-needed fingertips. How we get Sarah back to her life is about so much more than how we treat her wrist. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people.
Welcome back to Shaw Field as we are set for the second half of this contest. And looks like both coaches pretty much sticking with their starting 11s here to start the second half of this contest. We have Josie Beta back for Marquette, Haley Christensen, who had some good moments as well. So we'll see what adjustments, if any, Marquette has made, because, again, we thought they played really well. And I know you look at the numbers and they don't tell the whole story of what we saw in the first half, but Georgetown can just be a lot to contend with in the final third, and that is what happened in the first half of this game. And Christian, I know I talked a little bit about Esme Brayshaw. I do want to mention, so she averaged a shot every 4 minutes she was on the field. 4 shots in 16 minutes. That's some offensive opportunity for Esme Brayshaw. Certainly expect that we will see her back before the conclusion of this one, but we are underway with Lawson Rennie working back and forth with Erica Harwood, who's another one of the fantastic senior storylines. I know, Christian, we've highlighted her a lot this season, what she's done in her career.
With what she was able to do, firstly as an attacker, and then when things weren't entirely going too well, she was still a threat up there, but Coach Nolan wanted to switch up and see where else they could try and play her, and he put her as an outside back, and it worked out really nicely because it played to her strengths. It really did. And now, this season, he was ready for her to be one of the central defenders and is now one of those 3 back there in the Georgetown famous 3-back set. So it's been just absolutely marvelous to watch her thrive this season, and does have an assist as well on this campaign.
Well, coaches tell you they want their best 11 out on the field, and it doesn't matter as much what position you came into college at, what position can you contribute to this team at now. And a credit to Erica Harwood, she was willing to play anywhere and to contribute anywhere to Georgetown that Dave Nolan and the coaching staff asked her to do, and she has been a fantastic success story for these Hoyas, as Rennie will look over to Claire Manning.
I think you have to be ready at all moments in a Georgetown system, in a Coach Nolan system, to play any position, because you have so many players who are trying to get into one spot, multiple spots, and unless you're versatile, unless you're at the top of the game, you may not be able to get that action. So you're seeing players like an Ellen Carter, like as we mentioned, Erica Harwood, and many others who, because they've been able to be flexible, they've been able to get this playing time. And willing. You have to be willing to do it too.
That's right. You have to have the right attitude. You can't hang your head and slump your shoulders if things aren't going well for you, where you want to play, where you think you should play. And even when you are not on the field, learning from the players in front of you, because that is such an important part of this system. Is when you come into Georgetown, you don't necessarily expect that you're going to be in the starting lineup. You're playing behind a lot of experienced players who've been in this system a long time, but you can make the most of the opportunities you have, and you can learn while you're not on the field from the upperclassmen and the players who have found success in what Georgetown does.
I think Ellen Carter is a perfect example of that, because she didn't play at all in 2022. Last time saw about half of the games, not too many minutes, but saw half of the games, but Coach Nolan saw enough in that time, and now this year has been a crucial piece.
She has been, and Natalie Means looking ahead to Shea Montgomery. Elise Crone really coming out with a clutch play. It's going to be a corner kick coming up here for Shea Montgomery, but I like that aggressive play out of Elise Crone in the net for Marquette.
Her best moments today have been when she's aggressive, coming off that line. It's been impressive.
And it's a good lesson for all young goalkeepers, as Turner tries to curl one inside.
Probably another reason why Coach Allen chose her.
Tippins again tries to get ahead on it. She's great in the air. One of the best qualities about Henley Tippins. But Christian, we were just talking about contributing, how you can contribute, whether that's on the sideline, whether it's out on the field. And Chris Allen told us this fantastic story that we certainly want to share with you about a player named Molly Kuiper, who has been unavailable to play this year for Marquette, which can be really tough, particularly when you're an upperclassman and you have anticipations of how your senior season is going to go. And so she's a player who could have chosen to just focus on her rehab, prepare for next season. But instead, as Claire Manning sends the ball inside, she chose to do something a little differently for this Marquette team.
Yeah, you know, herself, Abby Ruland, Kate Downs, what they're able to do, they're not playing this season, but before every game, they send some sort of motivational video to the team, and it pumps them up. Like, you'll sometimes see a Coach Herb Brooks chat from Miracle or something else, right? But it's enough for them to stay involved, and the players absolutely love it. Coach Allen loves it, and it's just another really cool piece of this Marquette team.
It really is. I would love to see just one of those videos, the talent, the commitment, the creativity of the Golden Eagles, and how special is it to have a player do something like that. This is the first season at Marquette for Chris Allen and his staff, and that really sets the tone for what this program is going to become under that staff, as we get our first corner kick of the afternoon here for the Golden Eagles. Big opportunity here for Marquette. They go for the low driving ball. We'll try to maintain possession with Emily Fix. Good defense by Maya Lardner. Clark will send one inside to Anna Karpenko, who has taken over back in net for Georgetown. And that an expected change for Dave Nolan. Karpenko honored earlier today, the fifth-year transfer out of Harvard, who has been tremendous in net for the Hoyas. Means using that speed. Clark back to defend, looking for Henley Tippins, who has been a fantastic target on the afternoon, and it will be another corner kick coming up for Shea Montgomery.
Well, on one end, you saw an exhibition of how well Clark can shoot the ball, but then in a moment of time, Georgetown are sprinting the other way with Natalie Means and Turner or Tippins just missing it.
This is Montgomery. High arcing ball looking for Tippins. Harwood keeps it in play. Tippins! Oh my goodness. We've seen about everything out of Henley Tippins today except for a goal, and she has certainly given it her best effort.
Yeah, she is trying the bicycle kick. I give her a lot of credit because I know she can convert that, but man, that would have been something special.
She's another one, Christian. We're kind of already making our list for these players who we feel like next year are going to have that Maya Lardner-esque type progression, and Henley Tippins is at the top of my list. I'm so excited about her. We remember what she was able to do here on the Hilltop in her freshman season, when it was unfortunately cut so short due to a very tough injury that is tough to come back from, and Henley Tippins has done that, and we're seeing all these flashes of brilliance out of Henley Tippins, and she's one, I think, to watch for the remainder of this season as she just continues to get better and better for the Hoyas.
You know, I'm excited to see what the rest of this year does bring, but potentially next year is another one of those seasons where Coach Nolan really challenges her to start finding the back of the net just a little bit more, and who knows what type of campaign it may end up being.
Means was looking for Tippins, and she could just taste it. But Natalie Means is not done. Another one coming forward. Tippins tries to break free as if on cue. Henley Tippins with the Georgetown goal.
Literally on cue, Monica. We were spending so much time talking about her, and they were trying to find her, and you see what it means to her, too, as she's going to celebrate with some of the students here on the right side. But I mean, it started with a great Chester down, and it got her in a good spot. Here's a replay on this. That ball by Means is wonderful. You see her just get out of the way of Alberts and find it back on her left foot. Did everything right there, and a goal that she was working for here today. And I think something really important about Henley Tippins is no matter if the ball isn't going in on a few shots, she stays with it. She stuck with it there and now is rewarded.
Well, if you think this senior class is special, let's talk about the junior class. That was a beautiful ball from Natalie Means to her classmate Henley Tippins. So don't worry too much about Dave Nolan and his coaching staff with the graduation of some super seniors, because the future, we can tell you, is extremely bright.
I'm just thinking of senior day next year with Tippins and Montgomery and Means and Carter and Martin, you know, everybody, you know, a lot of players who are so integral to this team. And then, you know, we'll see who else is coming back into the fray. So it's something else for this program.
That is Alberts on the free kick for Marquette, looking to make something happen. The Golden Eagles, the nice idea, trying to push that ball over Lawson Rennie, which is hard to do. But I like the effort and the idea. And Marquette coming, lofting one in the air. Karpenko was up in the air. That was a beautiful idea by the Golden Eagles. We'll take another look at this. I thought, Christian, from that angle that could be very dangerous, but was just a little off frame.
That's how high Josie Bita can get, by the way, and why Marquette like to try and find her, because she is a really good target, and she is somebody who can cause an issue. But here's the replay on it. You see Bita ready for it, right? Karpenko really had to get her time right, just missed the ball, but you see how close it was to both Karpenko's hands and Bita's head, and Marquette with a decent opportunity on that look.
Josie Bita, she's a special player, and she's a junior for Marquette. And one thing that Chris Allen said to us, and I thought this is really important, that she's really starting to understand that off-ball movement, which can be really important for those players up top to make themselves even more dangerous and even better targets. And Josie Bita, she's one to watch as well. I think she is an exceptional young player.
She's somebody, if she plays her cards right, 2025 could be a really strong year for her. And this team has some decent midfielders and some players who can really start threading things through. I think Kylie McMinn's going to have a really good future. Haley Christensen and Emily Fix are both sophomores too, and you're thinking about players who can really benefit this team in the near future. It's this core group, and if they can get that delivery right to Bita, she could be looking at 7-8 goals in a season.
No, I think that's right. And again, I mean, it's senior day, which is always a moment of reflection about a class that has meant a lot to a program. As Maya Lardner, she's not done today. She looks to send that inside. Another great defensive play by Alberts. But certainly, it's still a long season. There's a lot of soccer left to be played, and we are very excited to see the progression for both of these two teams as they close out their 2024 campaigns. Heller looking for Tippins again. Montgomery very active as she gets into the box. And another nice defensive play by Kiara Clark, who just seems like she's in the right place at the right time all the time.
Yeah, she'll have a bright future too. There's a good basis for her here. She's a hard-nosed defender. She has some really good speed. And for somebody to come in as a freshman, as an outside back, it's It's a hard thing to do, and she's been able to carry the load for all but one game this season.
She's really been a standout on the afternoon to me for the Golden Eagles, and you just see that smart little play right there just to get the ball to a teammate, to try not to give possession back to Georgetown because she didn't have a lot of options in that area.
And she can maneuver well in tiny spaces, as you said. So a lot of good things, I think, out of her so far today and really this season.
Means really happy to see her get that assist because you look at the numbers and it doesn't tell the whole story with Natalie Means because she has been so closely defended. Everyone knows who she is. We talk to opposing coaches coming into Shawfield all the time, and they mention Natalie Means, that she's a key part of their plan defensively. And this is Means right here working through the defense over to Maya Lardner. Lardner will settle and loft it forward looking for Tippins. And I thought Henley Tippins was good in the first half. I think Henley Tippins has been exceptional here in the second.
She's turned it up another level, hasn't she? And they're targeting her a lot more as well because she's getting into those good positions.
She's so physical too. She's fearless. We've talked a lot about players being brave on the afternoon. I put Henley Tippins at the top of my list.
Yeah, it's been really impressive today.
That was a good service by Montgomery, looking for Lizzie Heller. Emily Fix with other ideas, and great individual effort here by Emily Fix. And you see she's trying to hold up the ball and get some numbers forward so she can hopefully do something with the possession. That's a smart play by the sophomore.
Yeah, Emily Fix, such a hard worker for this team. And we already said it in this game, but really is the heartbeat of this team. She loves taking on those 1v1 battles. She's always looking to join the attack, and had a couple moments so far today. Again, this is a position this is a formation that's slightly changed from the last few games, and Fix is really benefiting off of some of this.
Maya Lardner, who has become much more of a facilitator, gets a shot. It goes wide over to the student section over by Elise Krohn's net. But Maya Lardner has been trying to facilitate to feed balls inside. It shows you how quickly she can shift in terms of the role that she plays. What a game it has been for Maya Lardner.
Yeah, this is going down as one of the better ones that she's seen in her time here at Georgetown. With everything, it just seems so crisp and so clean when she touches the ball. It's not herky-jerky, it's very smooth, it's very calm and effective, and has 2 of the 3 goals today.
And if it had not been for heroics from Elise Krohn, she would have a third on the afternoon, and that just tells you everything you need to know about the effort today from Maya Lardner. Marquette trying to get the ball into their final third. Natalie Means with that fantastic pace. Look at the play of Mia Hurdle. We told you, the Iron Woman. And she has played like it at times. This afternoon, Alberts is back. Crone will come out of net. Really good defensive coverage all around. And look, you've gotten a lot of opportunities today to see these 2 central backs for Marquette. That's a big time play by Mia Hurdle, who, you know, if you had believed what some of the advice would have been, she wouldn't have been available to play today. Marquette is so grateful that she is out on the field and that she has contributed at the level that she has, because it's inspirational to your teammates when you know you have a player out there who is sacrificing everything because she wants to play that next game. She wants to finish her career strong. She wants to be that player. Henley Tippins with some daylight. It hits the post. Unlucky for Henley Tippins. Christian, I thought she was going to have another one.
I think that's slightly the epitome of Henley Tippins' season, where she gets a really good spot but just doesn't get a lucky bounce. And but you know, she'll get another chance here. One she'll think about for sure, but if that's to happen, you'd rather have it in a situation like this where you're up by a bit.
And to her credit, it's because Henley Tippins has been so involved. Heller sends another one inside. Henley Tippins, she is working so hard for her second goal of the afternoon, trying to top what Maya Lardner has done today.
I think if you're Tippins, all you can do is laugh about it too. But here's that look, by the way. That's a great turn to get Alberts out of it. And I think there was just enough of a slide out by Crone. She made herself big to force Tippins to shoot it to that right side. And just got a little unlucky on that bounce. If that's a centimeter in on that post, it's a goal because it's bouncing right over that line.
But to your point, credit to Elise Crone, because she was the only person that could disrupt that play, and she did it again by being aggressive, smart off her line. Really nice play by Elise Crone. Hoyas throw. And now Heller will plate the ball over. Claire Manning. Throw coming up here for Georgetown, who had their senior day before the start of the contest, honoring 8 players: Eliza Turner, Maya Lardner, Claire Manning, Lawson Rennie, Erica Harwood, Emily Royson, Anna Karpenko, and Cyan Doyle. We told you it was a pretty impressive list, and when you say all the names together, it certainly is. It sums up this Georgetown class. Again, some of them have been here the entirety of their careers. Others have come in for this season, but collectively they have been massive.
Yeah, this is a big unit. This is a big senior class. All players with extended minutes this season, and have all been playing their hearts out here for their last go-arounds.
Clearance there by Maggie Starker to get the ball up ahead to Josie Bita in a battle with Erica Harwood. Back defensively. It will remain Marquette possession.
Bita's tough, able to use a little bit of pace there to force it out for a throw for Marquette. But now here you have the ball, good throw-in position. You can try and maneuver something here.
Haley Christensen was doing some good work trying to get open.
And Christensen, just a sophomore, playing a couple different sides of that attack, left or right side, and really one of the more dynamic players on the field.
Fantastic run by Montgomery. Tippins tried to time it perfectly. Look at Clark, who's back defensively. And a nice clearance by Kiara Clark.
You see how quickly those Hoyas can go at you, which is why a lot of teams are very worried about trying to push up, because if you do, then it can leave you exposed.
They have
and the Hoyas can do so well there. Yeah.
They absolutely do. Carter in a battle with Christensen. And they are doing a great job trying to put the ball either right at the feet of Bita or right where she can get to it. And now Christensen making the run. She's absolutely everywhere. Lawson Rennie back defensively. Yeah, I think the future very bright for Haley Christensen as she continues to learn and grow in this Marquette system with Chris Allen and his staff. She has a lot of talent that she brings to the table as she continues to adjust to the college game.
You know, leads the team in assists with 5. That's hard to do. Sharing the ball and getting an assist is just about as tough as scoring a goal, and the fact that she's been able to put 5 together this year shows what she's very capable of, and really good on set pieces as well. You really need her for a lot of those moments. That's where a lot of her assists have come from this year.
Means had 3 defenders around her, so she hands off to Eliza Turner, which leaves a lot of space and room for Claire Manning, who slices and dices through the defense. She finds Lardner on the shot. Tippins, I believe, touched it, but a flag is up, and they're going to call that offsides. No one works harder than Henley Tippins. We're going to get a VAR review on this offsides call. It was beautifully played by Maya Lardner, and Henley Tippins just crashing in. We talked to you about how brave and fearless Henley Tippins is, and for a player who has had a leg injury in her career to go in like that on this play. We'll try to get another look at it for you, but it was brilliance by Maya Lardner, and what a fearless finish by Henley Tippins, but it was called offsides. The flag was up. Let's take another look, Christian.
Yep, just right side of your screen. Right here is where you're going to want it. It's obviously where the player releases the ball. It's really tight right here. Now she's off, and that's where it was released. Absolutely offsides.
It was the right call from the official. And the flag was up for a while. It wasn't a late determination there by the official. So from our replay, it does look like the right call. And so the official will make the official signal there, and you can't take away from the heroics of Henley Tippins, and it really does, I think, sum up her day today. And she's had 2 goals that I think she just felt like she could taste them that did not result in that stat on the stat sheet, but it's been a big day for Henley Tippins.
You know, I also like a stat for a lot of these players. It's created chances. Unfortunately, the stat isn't quite available here, but the number of chances, the number of chances that Natalie Means creates, Claire Manning creates, and certainly Henley Tippins, I mean, those would be skyrocketing. Certainly, they're all involved when goals go in for the Hoyas.
And Maya Lardner as well, who has such great service. And a dangerous moment here. Fantastic pressure by Josie Bita. Love how she kept going on that play. Pressured Lawson Rennie, pressured Anna Karpenko. And that's what you have to do. There's absolutely no quit in Josie Bita.
Just got to continue if you're Marquette. I know this is so far another tough result, and you know, could be potentially a 3rd straight 3-0 defeat, but you just got to keep plugging away. You got to keep working. That's the only way to learn. It's the only way to get better. Only way to build momentum.
Heller with a through ball to Lardner. Hurdle is back defensively. Lardner trying to create space, takes the shot, hits the crossbar. Montgomery settles it, left-footed strike, hits the crossbar again. And I think Georgetown feels like luck perhaps not on their side at moments today. How do you hit the crossbar twice, Christian, in 10 seconds?
Well, then remember, Henley Tippins did so not too long ago either, but wow. I mean, we're talking about just beautiful shots, but just off the bar. I mean, I don't know if I've seen it in back-to-back sequences like that, where they're just beautiful shots, and the bar is just there to deny. Incredible, honestly.
And I love what Shea Montgomery did there. She was not afraid to take that with her left foot, kind of set it up so that she could get a good angle on it. And again, just the post unkind for Shea Montgomery, who has put in the work today and doesn't really have the reward on the stat sheet. But again, I know the Hoyas feeling like this is Shaw Field. Can we not catch a break here? But it will be an opportunity coming up for Mary Cochran, who has come into this contest for the Hoyas, as Dave Nolan will start to look to his bench. We'll see what Mary Cochran does here for the Hoyas. Lofting it, looking for Lawson Rennie, and closing in was Claire Manning, who has to basically catch herself and is entangled in the net. Oh, actually, that was Harwood. My apologies. They're both wearing the orange captain's armbands, and for a moment I thought that was Claire Manning, but it was actually Erica Harwood who comes crashing in for the opportunity.
So I don't know if that was intentional by Lawson Rennie, but if it was, that's absolutely brilliant, because she headed it down, and then all of a sudden Harwood jumps into the fray and nearly was able to poke it in. So if that was on purpose, that was absolutely brilliant. But if not, it's just a shot that's angled a tad wide, and it's heads-up play by Harwood.
And meanwhile, Lawson Rennie has to get back defensively because Marquette continuing to pressure. Sending that ball forward was Capri Oliviero. Turner with a nice idea, headed away momentarily by Alberts. Natalie Means a chance, looking for Cochran, who finds the back of the net. Natalie Means on the delivery, rewarding Mary Cochran. What a finish.
Indeed, it was. It's her second goal of the season, and there was a really nice calmness to her when that ball went in, and when it came to her, she didn't freak out. It was a beautiful ball in. Here's the replay. Means brilliant again. Her pace is just too much to handle in the end. You see her shove off Alberts, and that ball to Cochran is excellent. You see how calm she is, knew that she had some time, and it's just a simple flick into that left side of the goal. And really nicely put together.
I think that all the younger players out there should watch this replay, because what most younger players do is they just kick that ball right across the mouth of the goal and the goalkeeper gets it easily. But you have to look at the angle back on that pass by Natalie Means. She does that so well. She finds Mary Cochran, who's probably thinking to herself, well, we've hit the post 3 times. I cannot miss this shot, and she delivers.
And certainly one that Cochran will remember as she gains more and more confidence in her time here with the Hoyas.
And it's been a big day for Natalie Means, who now has 2 assists. Both assists in the second half belong to Natalie Means, who is tireless and relentless on the right side for the Hoyas. And she just continues to battle and to pressure. Cyan Doyle has come back in, and you know the Hoyas are going to be looking for her on senior day as well in the middle of the offense for Georgetown.
Just so much that Natalie Means is able to do on that right side. Her 6th assist now of the season, which arguably there maybe could be more. That's just how purposeful she's been with her deliveries.
Nice idea there. I like that decision by Kate Gibson. Emily Fix. And now Heller in a battle with Oliviero. And that will sail out of bounds. It will be Georgetown possession. 19 minutes, 2 seconds remaining.
Well, now if you're Marquette, another opportunity to get some other players in just to show what they got. This is all now just a bit of play to set up for maybe what next year will potentially bring. You can still salvage something out of this game if you can find some sort of goal, but there's still a little bit to salvage out of this season too. So again, I know times are rough here at the moment, certainly on the pitch, but the best thing you can do is gain some momentum late season.
Means will take one herself, and Elise Crone will collapse on the ball, just leaving nothing to chance right now for Marquette.
And something that was very apparent when we were talking with Coach Allen is just how in good spirits everybody still is on this team. This is a group that continues to fight. It's a group that loves being around one another, a group that works together, and a group that Coach Allen is just over the moon pleased with the fact that he's able to coach them in year 1.
And the flag is up on that play for Marquette. But credit the Golden Eagles for continuing to pressure and to create a moment like that. And that is absolutely true, Christian, in terms of just the spirit of this team. And he told us this amazing story, which almost gives you chills on his first day of meeting the team. It was an emotional day for Coach Allen because he was leaving SLU, St. Louis, and had to tell a team that he had poured his heart and soul into that he would not be returning for the next season. And he goes up to Marquette, and he's prepared by the administration that these can be tough meetings. This is a moment where the team is getting used to you coming into this program. This may be a short meeting with your team. And he's nervous, frankly, about meeting this team. And he walks in the door, and they give him a standing ovation. And he speaks with them for 45 minutes. And they are so excited about the future and what he and his staff are going to do. And it sets the tone for their season and for this era under Coach Allen's leadership.
You know, and he was overwhelmed with emotion immediately, and rightfully so, because you're not sure what's going to happen. And sometimes a lot of just introductions aren't long, right? You're talking about 5-10 minutes. Hey, I'm coach. These are my assistants, everything like that. But that ended up 45 minutes to an hour of everybody just talking, having fun. Any nicknames that he wants to call or wants the players to refer to them as. And it turned into maybe one of his favorite moments in his time being a soccer coach.
And certainly, I think it made him certainly see that this team, it was going to be, it's not a perfect transition, you know, but a team that was going to be willing to invest and pour into this program with him the way that he and his staff planned to do what he had done in St. Louis, that he could continue on here at Marquette with that same type of leadership. Karina Murphy will come into the contest. Emily Fix will come out. We've been very impressed with her. She's lived up to every expectation on the afternoon. Hard worker, and that's what you want in this program, right? That's what you need here in this conference. And 2 years down for her, and has 3 goals, you know, this season. So there's another aspect of her game. She can finish well. Esme Brayshaw has come back in for Georgetown. We'll see how many shots she's able to accumulate here with her second half opportunities, because she certainly was very opportunistic in our first half. Kaya Hansen out on the field for the Hoyas will give a lot to this midfield unit, as well as she is a very versatile player. We've seen Kaya Hansen fill different roles on the field this year, coming back from injury, and has been really critical to be able to bring in a player the caliber of Kaya Hansen into this lineup. Yeah, you know, Hansen is somebody who very much could be starting. It's just a role now this season where Coach Nolan wants her to come in and help close out a few games and be that next player to steady the ship. And it's a role that she's been able to thrive in. It really has been. And if, you know, there is an issue, she's right there ready to go. She can play a defensive role. She can play a midfield role. She can play anywhere that Coach Nolan needs her to. Nice ball, nice idea. We knew the Hoyas were going to be looking for Cyan Doyle, and certainly doing so on that chance. This is Means. Hansen, love how Ellen Carter was calling for the ball, providing the option. Carter, the cross. Lardner was looking for it. Turner is there with a great touch to try to make herself dangerous in the box. Senses the space and just about found it. And this is Rennie on her senior day as well, here with the Hoyas. Chance. Marquette looking to Kate Gibson, but a nice tackle at the center of the field for Hansen. Means the give and go with Cyan Doyle. Means looking to get it back inside. How selfless is Natalie Means? A lot of players will want to dribble in themselves and try and take a shot, but Natalie Means is a pass-first player. You know, even though she has a couple of goals this year, it's all about, all right, who can I find? How can I set somebody up? And you don't see that much at all. Good throw here for Ellen Carter. And again, we've been so impressed with Ellen Carter. This has been a breakout game to me. I think she has had that freedom to roam that she's been looking for, that really suits her skill set so well. And she has made the most of those opportunities today. You'll look at the stat sheet, she'll be unsung. You won't see what Ellen Carter has brought to the table today, but having watched this game, I think she has been outstanding and has certainly stood out on the field. This is Cochran. Great communication by Lise Crone, who made clear to everyone she had that and was going to make that play for Marquette. Yeah, you know, that right central defender for Georgetown is one that Royson was in for the start of this season, and the opportunity was given to Carter
to drop back there, and it's been absolutely marvelous for her. And it's also, even though, I feel her replacement of Natalie Means during the season as right mid was stupendous for her, fit her well, but this is almost as well kind of reinvented her game too, because now there's another aspect that she's getting a little stronger in, and this team hasn't skipped a beat.
Alexa Hadley will come in. So the third member of this goalkeeping trio. We've seen Alexa Hadley at several junctures on the season, and she's made some big plays back in net too. It is really a luxury that Georgetown has with this goalkeeping group that push each other so much in practice, and no matter which keeper you have back in the net, you expect big things from them.
Coach Nolan works with goalkeepers really well. It's one of his strong suits, and really this whole program, their strong suit is goaltending. Always seem to have a good one, and I'll tell you what, you got three really good keepers on this team. And something that we failed to mention, Karen Martin, who started this game, is #1 in the nation in goals against average. So we're talking about a really good unit. It's an exemplary unit.
It really is, and we made the point earlier about how at Georgetown you have to play behind exceptional talent. Well, she played behind Allie Alder for years and built up her game to what we've been able to see this season is a good chance there for Cyan Doyle.
I don't know if you saw Allie Augers getting her feet wet in the broadcasting game as well.
Love to see that. Kaya Hansen. Kate Gibson, I think, really has been a spark coming into the game, providing a target up top for Marquette. And both coaches are going to make a few more changes here. Cassie Delinsky will come in for Georgetown. Ella McAleenan will come in. Claire Manning will come out and get a big round of applause here on her senior day. Esme Brayshaw on this right side now, along with Caroline Spangler, who has been getting some minutes here for Georgetown.
21, Caroline Spangler entered, replacing number 9,
Turner looking to work her way inside, and just ran out of room there because a lot of defenders converging on Eliza Turner.
She certainly wants one today, but that's just an area where she's given the green light all the time. Is if there's any space, you better go in and dribble into it. And Turner has also, below the radar, been extremely well played today.
Doyle looking for Spangler. And Starker in the middle of the field for Marquette, as they are looking for McAleenan, who has just come in.
Yeah, Marquette with 3 games left, Providence, Xavier, and Seton Hall. I mean, some tough games for sure coming up as well. I mean, all of them are tough in this conference, but
16, Maya Weiss.
You have a couple of home games, so you can try and play in front of that home crowd. The last homestand wasn't one that you wanted, with UConn and Villanova being some defeats, but you can close off the season well at home, and this will be a really good opportunity to do so. You want to bounce back and try to get something on Thursday night.
Marquette looking to get something into the box. Great opportunity, a nice strike there. Love that ball inside, and I believe that might have been Miletus that took that shot. Talk about a student athlete. We spend a lot of time here at Georgetown where you have these students who just do the most amazing and impressive things, and you think of them as soccer players, you don't really think about what they do off the field. Well, Alexa Miletus is a pretty special story that you don't hear all the time, because not only is she a soccer player, she's a high-level student trainer, athletic trainer, who works with the men's basketball program at Marquette. And Coach Allen telling us he's frequently asked by Shaka Smart, the head coach at Marquette, how Alexa's doing. And Coach Allen says, when you have Shaka Smart in your corner, I think your future extremely bright. And it's just a great reminder that, again, we spend our Sunday afternoons watching these young women play soccer, but this is not all of who they are. For some of them, it's just a piece of who they are, and I think that is such an impressive story. And before anything else, they're students, they're young professionals, and Alexa Miletus is doing so many things at such a high level.
Yeah, and she really is. Again, when you're in college, that's the number one, right, is your academics. But to have stuff like this as well, with what you're trying to train to do and how you're trying to help out.
And a nice play there by Lise Crone as well. And Christian, to your point earlier, when she's come off her line, she's been aggressive, she's been decisive. Good things have happened for Lise Crone.
Yeah, it really has been good. But yeah, I mean, talking about Miletus again, I mean, there's just so much more, as you said, that just goes on between what's going on here, the studying too, but you got to be finding your internships, you got to be working elsewhere, everything, right? And Miletus sacrifices a lot of time, does what she loves to do, and is working to try and get into that field. And it's just really impressive just seeing how she's going to change the world.
So a couple more substitutes coming into the contest. Is that ball going inside, looking for Cyan Doyle again? And Georgetown would love to get a goal today for Cyan Doyle, who does so much up top. Comes in, provides a spark, always seems to have a smile on her face.
Yeah.
A great personality.
Almost kind of get the sense that that goal that she scored against St. John's has just kind of freed her up a little bit. I feel like she's playing a little bit looser, a little bit better than prior. She was playing good before that, but this is just a different Cyan Doyle today as pre-St. John's. So I think this is just another really good option for her as she continues to march through this season.
Kaya Hansen just providing that pivot role for the Hoyas. And this is Doyle. Weiss. As Georgetown continuing to possess the ball, had about 70% of possession in the first half, really tells the story. And honestly, I think it's a credit to the defense for Marquette that they hung so strong with the opportunities and the time of possession that Georgetown had. They played a lot of defense in the first half of this game, and with the exception of a couple of just wonderful plays created by Maya Lardner, you know, it's a very different game because of the quality they brought. Spangler looking to cross it inside, clutch defensive play for the Golden Eagles as Georgetown just continuing to pressure.
Yep, did a good job there defensively, keeping it out. Emily Fick's coming across and doing her thing. They don't quit on a play either. You know, even if you're beat on a through ball, they stick with it, and you got a couple players trying to help out and thwart the attack.
Cyan Doyle, to your earlier point about just the freedom that we're seeing, she has been very involved, and she's a physical player, does not shy away from the contact, that great target. She can play with her back to goal and distribute and turn. So many strengths that she brings to this lineup for the Hoyas. This is Hadley back in net for the Hoyas. And now Georgetown looking to run. Once again, they just keep coming at you in waves. Back defensively is Christopher. Miletus looking central.
Still trying to take a few chances up there too, and doing so with a couple of the substitutions. Marquette, I mean, these are some players again who have starts this year as well. So they're being able to use these players in different roles today.
Hansen controlling in the middle of the field, some good pressure by Oliviero. Cyan Doyle looking to cut it inside to Cochran, and was hopeful for a call there, was not going to get it.
Yeah, looked a little too clean there. It was a really good challenge defensively. Just kind of kept it going.
Both teams continuing to battle. That's Delensky for the Hoyas, and now Brayshaw, who just has such great technical quality on the ball. You have to play in this Georgetown lineup. That great first touch, that ability to move the ball away from the defense. Here comes Marquette. O'Neal looking forward. A good run by Miletus. Miletus looking to cross it inside. And it's cleared away. And that is a fantastic job by Alexa Miletus to win this corner kick.
Which I think it might be
a throw.
Yeah. But no, a lot better but there by Marquette. Saw some fluidity in that offense, and something that they've been able to bring to the table in quite a few games this season.
So under 2 minutes remaining in this one, Georgetown scoring 2 goals in the first half, which really turned the tides a bit in the contest, which was fairly even in terms of both teams getting some opportunities, testing the defenses, until Maya Lardner just had a moment of brilliance.
I was really impressed with how Marquette came out in this game, and teams have come in here and sat, you know, and Marquette wasn't going to do that today. And even though Georgetown had put 4 past, and it's needed to be a little bit more of a defensive effort from Marquette, they were never just happy staying back. They always wanted to push forward. It's just the Hoyas don't really allow that too much. But again, I really do like how they came out, and that's a credit. They're not afraid, right? They're going to go up against anybody, no matter the team. It's just a matter of where it just didn't quite go the way that they would have wanted to today.
Mary Cochran sends one inside. Elise Crone is there. But another good chance created by Georgetown. Their ability to dribble, to work through the defense, to be decisive, to know what they want to do with the ball. Very important on the afternoon. As we prepare for our final 30 seconds here. Maya Weiss on the far side, looking forward to Spangler. And look at Brayshaw showing some speed. Esme Brayshaw gets under it, wanted that one desperately. Perhaps rushed it just a hair.
8, 7, 6.
And that will wrap things up here today for this one. Georgetown will be your winners on Senior Day. Christian, the seniors came to play. Set the tone early on. Maya Lardner will get your game winner on the afternoon. Natalie Means will finish with 2 assists.
Yeah, really, really impressive by everybody today. And Maya Lardner with one of her better games here in a Georgetown uniform. 6 shots for her, 4 of them on target as well. So she could have had a few more, but it was a really well-oiled machine today with Natalie Means doing her thing on the right side. I thought Ellen Carter was great today. Shea Montgomery was good at distribution in the center. Turner as well. Everybody did well. And Marquette, I still think you got to give them a little bit of credit today. They held tight at a lot of moments today. They wanted to go at Georgetown, just not quite the result they were looking for. But Georgetown, big 3 points.
Absolutely. And to your point, really credit to Marquette. I thought they came out so strong. They were brave. They were aggressive. They battled Georgetown. They gave them everything that they had. And you see those pieces to the puzzle, but that was the defining moment right there. Maya Lardner finding the back of the net fairly early on in the game. It changed the complexion, and this was her second of the first half. And after that, the floodgates just opened for the Hoyas. Henley Tippins had herself a day. Only 1 goal shows up on the score sheet, but Henley Tippins was terrific, as you see right there. And then Mary Cochran would close out the scoring. Georgetown clicking on all cylinders. Frankly, what you have to do right now is the Hoyas are battling it out with Xavier to be top of the table in the league. That will do it for us here from Shaw Field. For Christian Taylor, I'm Monica Moore. Georgetown, your winners on Senior Day, 4-0.
George. Georgetown goal. The goal by number 9, Maya Lardner. Coming in. And for Georgetown, number 32, Cyan Doyle. Replacing number 27, Henley Tippins.